fan-made content for this Premier League season.
Bringing that real fan experience. Want to see some crazy?
Wherever you are in the world,
bringing you the latest opinions
and fan reactions.
Back again.
Welcome to FanPark Live.
Brand new shows every week.
UFF are going hard this year, you know. So make sure you lock in.
Come on!
Real fan opinions brought to you by Wash and Go. And welcome to FanPark Live. Arsenal have just been defeated at the dawn of their new era with Unai Emery 2-0 by Manchester City. Champions Manchester City at that, in what you can only describe as a comfortable, easy victory for Pep Guardiola and his men. Of course, a number of areas to get chomping into. We're going to touch on the champions and how great they looked. Emery didn't pick Leno. He put Petr Cech in goal. Could he have done better with Raheem Sterling's shot? Lucas Torreira on the bench. When he came on, he looked to give Arsenal a bit of impetus, a bit of bite, a bit of fight in the midfield. We want to hear from you on 0203 606 0135. Arsenal fans, you keeping the faith. I'm joined in the studio now by Aaron and David from Fan Chat TV.
Yes, mate.
Oh, I got it right. I'm so happy with myself. Gentlemen, welcome. Just everyone knows, David is a Gooner. Aaron, Manchester United, the same as myself. So anyone who watch. I know we've got a lot of people watching on Arsenal Fan TV. You guys know who I am. You know how fair I am with Arsenal Football Club. We're going to chat to these boys now. I'll go to you first as a Gooner, David. Are you disappointed with that victory? Do you think did you expect more from this new Arsenal side, or is it too early to judge?
I think it's a little bit too early to judge. I'm not going to go, all out. I'm not going to go too ham on the team, of course. But, I think, in terms of Unai Emery, if he wants to make an impression in the first game, I think, even though his first game into the Premier League, pick the right players in the right positions, and missing Torreira and missing Lacazette in the beginning was absolutely, I think that's based upon his fault, in my opinion. But also, several players looked out of their depth. Guendouzi today looked far out of depth, for the occasion against Man City. And Man City were bossing it. Yeah. Man City were bossing it all game. Counter-attacking, possession, Bella in, more like Bella out. He's like completely, got annihilated, by Sterling and co.
Why no Torreira? Why no? Even more importantly, why no Leno? Aaron, from your point of view, you sign a new goalkeeper for a lot of money. You sign one of the best and most talented young midfielders, top performing midfielder from the World Cup. Why are these players not in your starting lineup for the first game of the campaign?
I thought it was really, really strange, to be honest with you, when I saw the lineup. Obviously, Cech, we know that he's obviously a very experienced goalkeeper. Been there, done it everywhere, at every level. But I couldn't give you an excuse for not playing Leno today. I thought that you brought him there because you wanted to replace Cech.
That first goal was like,
Cech obviously made that mistake as well at the start of the game, didn't he? As well,
my God!
Put it into his own net as well. So that's why you brought Leno in. So that's why you thought he would be in the team today. Lucas Torreira, obviously, when he came on, he showed great energy. Exactly, combative is what you wanted to see.
He did exactly what Granit Xhaka never does. Yeah. He did exactly what Granit Xhaka, and it's interesting because look, Arsenal need to give Emery time. Arsenal fans need to give Emery time. You cannot undo the mess that Arsene Wenger created in one game. However, I look at Xhaka, Ozil, Aubameyang, Mustafi, Bellerin today. All of them shocking today. Shocking today. And look, Emery's going to give these individuals a chance to prove. Look, Aubameyang was amazing last year, by the way. But the majority of those players, barring Aubameyang, Bellerin, Mustafi, Ozil, Xhaka, for me, last year, generally speaking, poor. He's going to give them an opportunity to show that actually it was Wenger's tactics, Wenger's training, Wenger's discipline that made us poor players, that made the team bad. But on that first showing of the new season, it wasn't even competitive today. today. It wasn't even competitive. And some of the new boys that have come in, the likes of Torreira that we've mentioned, they have to be licking their lips because they are head and shoulders above these Arsenal players. They really, really are. And right now, there's a lot of those Arsenal sort of stalwarts that have been here a while. They must be worried because it's not even about beating the champion. You lose to the champions, you can't be embarrassed. No fight, no energy. Absolutely. We've got phone calls, and we're going to jump straight into these phone calls.
We're ready.
Javern's going to grab these for us as well. We're going to see what these gooners are saying out there. And neutrals, of course.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, Terry. I'm Christopher.
Hello, Christopher. Who do you support?
Yeah, I support Manchester United.
Okay, and straight away, tell us what you thought of Arsenal versus City today.
Same old story, Terry. Same old story, man. It's the same thing. I mean, nothing changes. I think, I don't know what to say. I'm just enjoying the fact that Manchester United gets a lot of bullocks for winning 2-1, and then Arsenal comes and gives. I mean, they've just played into Man City's hands again. It's the same Arsenal. Nothing changes. Yeah, but then
you need to be a little fair with Arsenal, though. You have to be fair here because Man United they're going into their third season with their new manager. This is Arsenal's first season for nearly a quarter, maybe over a quarter of a century with a change of direction. So I think anyone that's putting this down to look, Emre's going to pick his teams. He's got to give people opportunities. I think there are individual Arsenal players out there, Ozil, Mustafi, Granit Xhaka. They should hang their head in shame. What Emre now needs to do, which Wenger didn't, is give these guys a chance, an opportunity, give them some love. But if they do not perform, they do not play.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you, Terry. But just as you said, Emre is a new coach. He still needs some time. But I mean, I think we've still got some players there who represent what Arsenal really is. I mean, Arsenal from the past. Just as you said, Mustafi, Ozil, these guys were all lackluster against Xhaka and Granit Xhaka.
I wrote 100%. Ozil lackluster.
I don't think.
However, even if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't say Emre out just yet. No, I mean, he deserves 1 or 2 windows to, get in the players he wants and get his own philosophy on board. But I'll say this, I mean, I expected this and it has happened. It's nothing new to me. Nothing new.
Appreciate your call. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers. Yeah, look, he's a Man United fan saying that, and I'm not saying he's wrong, but I really want to hear from some Gooners because I don't think any Arsenal fan in their right mind is angry with Unai Emery today.
No,
I don't think it was a terrible performance there. I think City just outclassed as you would have predicted them to do. They played the same style of football that is
embedded in exactly 100%.
Indoctrinated in it. So yeah, do you know what I mean? Like Arsenal just weren't at the races.
Yeah, let's put some more calls through, Jay. Let's keep them coming through. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Raj.
Hello, Raj. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well. You're a Gooner, I understand.
Yep.
Great. What's on your mind after that 2-0 defeat to Manchester City?
You know what? It was a tough test for Unai Emery. When I first looked at the fixture list, I was a bit worried because we got Chelsea the next week, and it was a little bit unfair on Emery. But saying that, I mean, we pressed really well, and I can start to see some of Unai Emery's ideas being implemented.
When did you press?
Not from that.
Mate,
I disagree with that.
When did you? I'll give you the right reply. When did Arsenal press in that game?
What I liked about that one was there was a lot of closing down really quickly.
When?
But Manchester City, they are so good at sort of playing around the press, and I mean, I might be sort of silly for saying this, but I can sort of see the differences already. But it is the first game, and
what differences? Yeah. Sorry, I need you to explain what differences and when was this pressing you're talking about, because I didn't see it.
Yeah, I thought Guendouzi was like he was running around pretty much like a headless chicken, like around the midfield of Man City. I didn't see nothing from the press at all.
Yeah, obviously, I think Unai Emery's ideas are there. And I think once we get into the season a bit more, and once Unai Emery has a bit more time, we'll start to see that. But like I said, again, it was the first game. Was a bit disappointed with the result, but again, I'm going to give Unai Emery some time, see how he gets on.
You
I was
have
a bit
to.
disappointed with the team selection, though. I would have thought Lucas Torreira would have started in front of Xhaka, because as soon as Torreira came on, he gave us that bit of tenacity in midfield that we needed.
Sterling was cut out when Torreira came on. Like, Sterling was non-existent, honestly.
Torreira was fantastic. And I understand where you guys are coming from, for saying there wasn't much pressing there. But again, you know, we are playing a team who did finish with 100 points last season.
That's true, we're going
to... Exactly. I totally understand. I really, really do. Look, really appreciate your call. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks,
cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cool, have a good day.
Thank you. I didn't see no press.
I didn't see the press at all. Man,
hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name's William.
Hello, William. You an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yeah.
Good. What's on your mind after that 2-0 defeat to Manchester City?
I think it's to be expected. I mean, when we think about the fact that we have a new manager, Emery, here, and we have a couple of new players, they haven't gelled yet, so it's to be expected. However, I feel like some of these old players should just leave. Some of them should just straight out leave.
Bellerin.
I'd say Bellerin yet, but I'd say players like Ozil and Mustafi who haven't done enough to really show why they should be in the team.
Yeah, look, do you know what? I really get your initial point in terms of, I wouldn't say it's expected. Losing to City, I think, is understandable. I think the level of performance from certain players. Remember, Ozil is the joint highest paid player in the Premier League on £350,000 per week.
And didn't make one correct pass.
And he didn't influence that game in any way, shape or form. And I think, of course, there's time for Emery to implement his plans. And some of these players will be part and parcel of that. You hope to see them improve. But on today's evidence, some of the new signings, Torreira being one of them as an example, I think that Lichtsteiner, when he came on, down the left-hand side, I think he looked pretty solid in terms of what he was doing. It's just a case for me where I look at some of the elder statesmen and I just think they have to step up and they have to do more, especially in this early period for Unai Emery. And if I was the manager tonight, I may not even say this to them yet because you want to keep the players on side early doors, but I would be a little disappointed in your long-term senior players.
Totally. I totally agree with you. Some of these senior players were very disappointing. I am going to single out Czech. I think he had a very mixed game, like the commentator said.
Yeah. However,
you can't, he nearly scored an own goal.
What
kind of goalkeeping is that?
That back pass was ridiculous.
I tell you what, that was some FIFA stuff. You know, like we were saying earlier, when you fancy a penalty shootouts and you're 1-0 up and you purposely put the ball in the back of your net.
I'm just thinking at that moment, what was that? But one thing I have to say is big up to Guendouzi. I mean, first, his debut, and what a game he played as a young player, 19 years old, coming from League 2 in France, and the way he really was composed in that midfield was really good. He was showing the older players.
He did lose the ball.
The formation today from Arsenal, did you think it suited the game against City today?
No, because I looked at it an hour before the match, and I said to my dad that actually there's something wrong with the fact that it's so compact.
Yeah, it seems a bit imbalanced, doesn't it?
I'd like to see a bit more. I like fast-paced play, a bit like how Liverpool plays. So I would have liked to see maybe Iwobi get in there. I feel like the midfield was quite slow, and that was seen today with some mistakes by Xhaka and Ramsey. I feel like if we had faster players.
But Lacazette, when Lacazette came on, he was really, really effective in even pressing himself against the defense of Man City. And see, that's what kind of bugs me is why didn't Lacazette start and help out in that kind of that to
it could have been a bit more competitive.
Exactly, 100%.
You fight fire with fire.
Mate, thank you very much for your call. Man. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Day.
Cheers.
Cool.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I think Guendouzi, or Guendouzi, however we pronunciate his name, I think he had a decent game. He was decent for a young player. I kind of felt, though, that it's an interesting one. Look, I'm not going to get Unai Emery's back. But Torreira comes from a much higher standard of league. He's been playing at the World Cup. As you said, this young lad's come in from kind of nowhere. his debut to be against Manchester City, maybe that was just a little too much, a little bit too much too soon for him. However, it's a great baptism of fire. I think he's got the, you can see the quality in that young man. There is no doubt about it. But I suppose as well, it's a nice acid test as well, because Emre is going to see who he can and can't rely on moving forward when it comes to a lot of the individuals within his team. They really, really can. So it's one of them things. Actually, I've just got a number. Javern, I've got a number that I'm going to forward to you on WhatsApp. I need you to give a call. It's from Goonerette TV. She wants to come on the airways. No, I've just got a mobile number. I'll call her. I'll get her on the phone, and there we go. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have to. Do you know what I didn't hear before? I used to try and call people, and I used to press 9 to dial out like I was at work. And no one's number works. It's because I was stupid.
I honestly thought that Man City were tactically brilliant today.
Yeah, they were.
They were on fire. Like,
we'll see if this gets answered. Doing big numbers at the moment on AFTV, which is amazing. Please smash that like button, whatever platform you are currently watching on. That would be amazing if you could do that for us. Thank you. We should put... She might not answer. Let's see. I did. There we go. I tried to call. Anyway, let's get some more calls. Let's get some more phone calls on the airways, please, Javern. I'm sure we've got loads that are waiting. But yeah, she seemed pretty annoyed on Twitter, so I was like, yeah, I want to try and get her on the airways here. Mendy, no thought. Oh, here we go. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Matthew. I'm a Fulham fan.
Oh, hello, Matthew. Who do you support?
I support Fulham.
Who?
I support Fulham.
Fulham.
Oh, Fulham.
Excellent.
Thank you. The game yesterday.
Thank you very much for calling. What did you make of Arsenal versus Man City this afternoon?
I watched on the telly today. I think Arsenal lineup was a bit weird. I don't know why he played certain players. I'm surprised he didn't start Torreira instead of playing Xhaka, and why he played Cech instead of Leno. I always thought that Cech would be just a guiding player for Leno now that Leno came, and now he's playing and he made some certain errors today that he really shouldn't be making.
No, I understand that. Do you not think, though, that it's an interesting one? We saw West Ham United today, and they played an abundance of their new players, and they look very disjointed. I mean, Arsenal maybe tried to do it differently, where they didn't include too many of their new players. They still look pretty disjointed, but I suppose it's trialing error when it's a new manager, new tactics, new players, etc. There we go. I mean, how do you think Arsenal are going to do this season?
I think they're going to do well, but playing. I know Emery wants to give players like Xhaka and Bellerin chances, but when you're playing the champions in Manchester City, you need to play your best players. And I think he was stuck there, whether to give players a chance.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Do you have permission to make this call?
Yes.
Oh, cool. You're half whispering. I just didn't know whether you were like... No. I don't want to make sure here. We've asked the Bill players permission. Listen, thank you very much for giving us a call, young man.
Thanks, mate.
Okay.
Thank you. Mate. Cheers. Some people comment on here. They're like, oh, she sounds really young. No, when boys are young, before the voice box breaks, they do tend to have more high-pitched, softer tone voices. That was indeed a male. But thank you all for the concern. Javern. Yes, anyone who is phone calling, WhatsApps are for just sending us in videos. If you want to feature videos, do not call us on WhatsApp. We can't put those live on the air. Give us a call on 0203 606 0315. More calls, please, Javern. I want to hear what these gooners are saying.
Cool.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name? Hello?
My name, hello?
Hello? Yes, what's your name, buddy?
My name's Judo.
Judo?
Judah.
Judah. Thank you, mate. Who do you support?
I support
Arsenal. Okay. What did you make of the performance today from your team and Emre's selections?
Selection, I don't think was that good, to be honest. I think Torreira could have started, because when he came on, he made a big impact for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think why do you think... What stopped your manager from picking him from the start? What do you think the rationale was behind that?
I don't really know. I think Gwen Dozy, he impressed during pre-season. And Xhaka, to be honest, I don't think he was good today. That's why I think Touré should have started.
Xhaka was poor today.
I mean, as an Arsenal fan, as Xhaka, I mean, how often in 2 years has that man impressed you?
Silence. He had off days because, like, today he was giving away sloppy passes. I mean, one of them led to a goal, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, no, like, I look at Xhaka and I see, I don't know what I see. I don't see look, Arsenal.
There's a good player in there, though.
Do you think there is? You think there's a good player in there?
Yeah, definitely, but obviously.
Where is he?
I think he's gone.
Like they said last season that obviously, you know.
You sound like Mr. Miyagi. You know, your best karate still on inside. Now time let out.
Wax.
Yeah, wax off. It's one of those ones. Yeah, I don't see it. For me, I look at Granit Xhaka and I see an average player. Arsenal Football Club are a giant club.
Yeah.
Top 3 clubs in the UK
100%.
in terms of fan base, stature, history.
Yeah.
Arsenal are now striving to become champions of England again. They're striving to get back to the top. You are not doing that with B-Tech players like Granit Xhaka. And why? I mean, the new Arsenal sort of the directors of football and stuff have made some really good decisions and brought in some really talented players in the last year. But making him sign a new deal right now, if they prove me wrong, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. But right now, I cannot understand it for the life of me why they have signed him onto a new deal, unless it's to give him a contract extension so they can sell him for more money in the summer. That would be the only logical explanation for that.
Well, it remains to be seen, though. It's a long season, isn't it? So I think, you know, I mean, once everything comes together, hopefully for Arsenal, I think they're good. That you might see that good player in there.
Okay. And Judah, I mean, are you still confident? You go away to Chelsea next week. They looked quite promising yesterday. I mean, it could be 2 games, 2 defeats. How do you think the Arsenal faithful and yourself are going to react if after 2 games you haven't picked up any points yet?
I wouldn't be that surprised, to be honest, because he just started. If it was Wenger, I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all, but he just started. I think we need to give him a bit of time to get used to the Premier League a bit and to get used to his players as well.
Mate, well said. They definitely need to give Emre time. Thank you very much for that call, mate. Thank you. Bro. Cheers. This is on Arsenal Fan TV's live chat. This is why I love YouTube and opinions. Remember, don't ever try and become a YouTuber. Don't give opinions on Facebook. Don't ever put your thoughts out there if you're scared of bad comments. But I literally had here, you got, this is from Popeye 1974, who says, Terry talks utter CHIT, followed by 2 more comments by Noel, who says spot on Terry. Literally, you can, and that's the thing about football opinions. You literally complete opposites. Doesn't offend me. I'm not a snowflake. Nothing offends me at all. Actually, pretty much, literally nothing offends me. That's an amazing thing I have, like Teflon skin. It's just bad because, especially when it's like words and names. It's like literally like you know, I don't know when in society, but honestly, like my nan taught me a little nursery rhyme when I was younger, and it was sticks and stones will break my bones, that names will never hurt me. And it's like I'd rather someone call me a name than punch me in the face. And I don't know when in society that changed. Now it's like names and jokes are more offensive than a punch. I'm like, nah, bruv. Like honestly, I don't. This face is perfect. This face is perfect. This gets punched or hit, I'm in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? This makes the money. This face, I can't be without it. That is going to trigger some people. Some people, oh, you're not good looking. I'm like, yeah, it's called being a wee bit sarcastic. But there we go. Anyway, let's get some more calls on the air, please. Javern. Javern.
There we go.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello, Charlie.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Hello, hello, mate. Who do you support?
I support Tottenham.
Tottenham. Oh. What do you make of Arsenal's newfound era? The confidence that was spewing from Gooners all summer. What do you make of it right now?
For me, I think it's brilliant because you finally. I can't wait for the moment where you're going to regret that you got rid of Wenger, because he's the best manager you'll ever have. He was there for 22 years, and no good manager is going to. Everyone knows that you're just a terrible club, and I'm loving it as a Tottenham fan now because you've got to admit we are the best team in London now.
Oh, come on, mate.
It's
Come on, mate.
It's the first game of the season as well, man. Come on,
mate.
Come on.
Come on, man. The new Tottenham Stadium is the only place in London you can watch Champions League football. And now you've got a new manager, same result.
Oh yeah, Chelsea.
Wait, is the stadium built yet? Is the stadium built yet? I think it's still in rubble. Bit of scaffolding on it.
We finished third playing at Wembley, and we're only playing one game at Wembley. I think this is the season Tottenham are going to win the Premier League.
No way, bro! No way!
No!
Burnley are more chance of winning the Premier League than Tottenham, bro.
He went there.
Burnley and Dyche.
From home. Listen, 38 games away from home. We finished first. This is our season. And Arsenal ain't even going to qualify for Europa League.
Ain't gonna say that. Okay, so honestly, I'm asking you real. I'm a Man United fan, by the way. I present this show, but I don't support Arsenal, so I don't have a dog in this fight. You legitimately, so a lot of gooners, you know, this man was sitting here with me, Robbie, DT a few days ago, and he said that Arsenal would finish second. I think DT said that Arsenal will definitely finish above Spurs. You think not only will Spurs finish above Arsenal, but they are going to win the league this year?
Listen, mate, we've had a fantastic transfer window. We haven't lost any of our players. Our captain won the World Cup as the French captain. We got the Golden Boot winner. 9 players in the semi-finals of the World Cup. We got a world-class team, and we've kept all our players together. They know we're gelled. We didn't need any new players because after position, we have someone that is world-class.
But after seeing City and Liverpool as well, do you still think that they won't be up there with you guys from what you're saying?
I mean, Tottenham not going to be up there.
It's going to be between Spurs, Man City and Liverpool. No other team has got a chance.
Wow.
Man United were poor. They so defensive, and Mourinho's boring. They should have gone for more goals, and Leicester had a chance at the end to...
yeah, but listen, okay, look, I don't disagree with most of that, but Newcastle hit the crossbar twice. If you're going to talk about fine margins, sorry, they hit the crossbar once and the post once. If they both go in, you lose yesterday. If we're going to play that game.
Yeah, but when Newcastle scored, they scored straight after. So I think even if they score,
you have to play Man City yourself. You have to play Man City yourself. Do you think you honestly say that you will come into a first game of the season, go against Man City, and you actually beat them? Can you honestly say that? Or Liverpool for that matter as well.
Tough one. It's too early in the season to say.
Don't worry, we'll wait for the North London derby, mate. Then we'll talk.
Mate, I really appreciate your call. Mate, whatever you've been drinking today, enjoy it. Hope you get up for work in the morning, mate. Take care. Do you know what? Kids, don't do drugs. No, I'm joking. He's entitled to his opinion. Yeah, you know, he's obviously come on. He knows we're on. Like, obviously, the Ultimate Football Fan has a big Arsenal following. My channel, The Football Terrace, has a big Arsenal following. Arsenal Fan TV are involved in this live stream. There are big contributors on this. So I think he was just trying to stick a bit of... It's going to be... Look, I predicted all year, I think Spurs will still make the top 4. I've said that. But to win the league... Can't believe it.
No way.
Sorry, Javon, what was that, mate?
Oh, Devon.
Let's see. We're going to try and get Devon on Skype. No, it didn't work. Let's see. Is Javon fixed Skype, ladies and gentlemen? We'll know. Dev.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. Are you all right?
Guys.
How are you feeling after your... Obviously, you were buzzing 2 days ago when we spoke about the start of the season. Are you feeling disappointed? Are you still... Is it, or just sort of water off a duck's back and you're going to pick yourselves up for Chelsea next week?
I mean, you can't overreact. It's a long season. You know, there's 37 matches to play, and very few teams get a gold trophy at the end for going perfect. You know, as an Arsenal fan that was really optimistic about our signings, and I really wanted to see us do more of like a full Band-Aid ripoff. You know, I don't know why you don't start Leno. I don't know why you don't start Torreira, but do start Guendouzi, who a lot of people are going to rip on and say looked out of his way. I thought he was hung out to dry more by Xhaka and Sheck and Mustafi than anybody else, and held his own. It very easily could have been worse had he not made some of the effort plays that he made.
Yeah, because I said at the beginning that Guendouzi was a bit out of his depth, but you know, looking back on the match as well, yeah, like he was literally by himself in the middle of the park with a host of Man City.
The press that they were sending at us was, I didn't understand the tactic of playing out of the back, especially with Czech.
Yeah,
with Czech. I thought that was kind of dumb. But I also like the fact that we made the tactical switch when we saw that it really wasn't working and just stopped doing it. We looked great on the counter. We could have some chances. Bellerin had a chance that he put right into Ederson's chest. And I thought that once we brought Lacazette on, we had a little bit of a spark and had an opportunity to put some. The shot that he put just wide. You know, any other day he doesn't get that bounce and he puts top spin on it and it goes in the back of the net. So you can't overreact. But like I said, I wish we would have played our new signings from the beginning. And if Granit Xhaka never wears our shirt again, it's too soon.
Deb, I don't think many Arsenal fans would disagree with the things that you have said there. The interesting thing about playing out from the back and the tactics are, if we look at, I mean, I don't know if Liverpool are a great example because they haven't won a trophy yet. But when Klopp first went in, he's got his philosophy, he's got his style of play, he has his idea. And he was playing that even when he had Mignolet and really poor defenders. And they were making a lot of mistakes. They were passing the ball wrong. They were getting caught out. But you fast forward sort of like 2.5 years and now they're looking very, very dangerous. I suppose the one thing Emre might be doing is saying, right, I haven't got all the players I want yet. We're going to recycle a lot of these players over the next 2 years, but we're going to play my style. And this is why I keep saying to Arsenal fans, I think there needs to be this air of patience with the manager and his tactics, but maybe turn your attention to the individual players. Like if people can't play out from the back, then okay, they've had the opportunity, they haven't been able to deliver. We now need to look at bringing in additional players and new players. But it's, for me, Emre needs to play his style of play and not yield from that. Because if he starts to play, if he tries to invent a style that he doesn't normally coach, I don't see how he's going to become successful. You know, like you're Dev. Like everyone knows this. Dev, who's on the lines, he's a great musician. He makes great music. I'm not. What style of music do you make? What is your like genre?
Oh man, I do rock and roll. I do EDM. I've got gold records for hip hop. You know, I mean, I've worked with a lot of big names, and
this guy is legit.
I just enjoy. I don't really put a style on it, but people would say it kind of tinges a little bit more towards rock style.
Okay, so you're rock style. The thing is, if I suddenly was like, yeah, you got to sort of go and do a track with Michael Bublé, you might be a bit like, oh, it's a little different, doing a little, you know, suddenly. I mean, I love Michael Bublé, he's my fave, but like suddenly if you've got to go from like Led Zeppelin to suddenly Come Fly With Me, it's a difficult one. Do you get what I mean? But look, I think Emre needs to keep doing what he's doing. He needs to test which players can handle his style, and over the next 18 months to 2 years, ship out the dead wood that can't do it, and bring in players and from the youth academy and from the transfer market that can.
Can I ask him about?
And I also agree that, but here's the thing: is while you have this window of somewhat goodwill from the fan base, and the fan base needs to give him 3 transfer windows. 3 transfer windows before you even start to mention standings or placement for Arsenal. But we have to have realistic expectations. But rip the Band-Aid off, like I said. Like, don't be afraid to drop some games as long as you put in performances that are worthy. I would rather see Torreira and Guendouzi over Xhaka and Ramsey every day of the week. I would rather see us try Aubameyang and Lacazette in a 2 forwards up top situation every day of the week, right? Especially right now when we're in that kind of grace period, I would almost call it. You know, he's got a couple months to figure it out with the players, but you know, if we're going to struggle in games and we're going to fight for points, let's at least do it with, you know, players that are going to give you an opportunity to win or give you an opportunity to save your ass on the back end. Because I think Torreira over Xhaka is a no-brainer, and I think Leno over Czech was obvious, made even more obvious today.
I was going to ask about what Mesut Ozil. What do you think about his position, like, and how he played today?
He's a 10 that we played on the right wing. I don't understand why we can't just let him do what he does.
What, an attacking mid, yeah?
What he does best. I'm an Ozil defender, and everybody knows that. I think that when he's on his best, he's one of the best tactical players in the world. Yeah. But I also think that we set him up all preseason to have Aubameyang and Lacazette up top, and then we play a sole striker. And you could see Aubameyang drift to the left all game, and we just didn't really seem to have that cohesion up top. So people are going to slant Ozil, but I think he played okay. It wasn't a great game. I would give him like a 5.5, 6.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he was terrible, but those are the same people that are going to come to me that are going to say that Guendouzi was terrible, and that's when I reference, you know, you can't have Czech almost score own goals on himself because of terrible footwork. You can't have Mustafi get put on roller skates. You can't have Bellerin get beat and then have Guendouzi have to step up against Sterling, who's cutting against his body. Like, you know, you got to look at the game in its entirety. I tend to overreact. I thought Michael Oliver was poor. You know, there was a couple of instances where I thought Laporte should have been carded in the third for the kick of the back of the leg of Aubameyang. I thought the takedown by Mendy in the box in some instances and in some games has been called a penalty, where Mendy wrapped up Mustafi on the corner kick. So I think that there are a couple of instances that in other games could have changed the pace of play. But let's be realistic. City's coming off of championship season. They had all of their squad back. And they had 100 points last season. So let's be realistic. Losing 2-0 to the defending champions isn't necessarily bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not too bad.
Dev, mate, again, as always, wonderful, wonderful call. And we'll speak to you again, mate.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy. Thank you. Cheers, mates. He knows his stuff. Yeah, on a level, that guy, like, he knows his football. And I don't normally like talking to Yanks about football, but he knows his stuff. And he's a serious musician. Like, he's told me privately, like, he's worked with some, like, when I say big names, like, that guy is serious. I was like, when he told me, I was like, really? I said, "I'll get me an autograph, please." Like, suddenly I just turned into the biggest fanboy, and he went, "Oh, please." There we go. But if he was, I'd love him to, work with. Okay, no worries, no worries. Let's get some more Let's get some more calls on the. I want to hear from some more Gooners. But I think what Dev said there is absolutely right in terms of got to give the man time.
Yeah, he was pretty spot on.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Yeah, my name's Daniel.
Hello, Daniel. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. And what did you make of your opening performance this season?
It was interesting. I think if you look in the first half, the midfield was a shambles. Let's be honest. I think if you just look at the way Ramsey played that first half alongside Xhaka, it just wasn't. It wasn't to the Emery standard that we've seen in pre-season. So in pre-season, we went for a more pressing game, and it was more relentless. During pre-season, the pressing from the midfield and from the midfield line and the forward line was together. It was more together, and it was more relentless. It was constant. But in this game, we had periods where we let City play from the back and keep their possession and push forward. That's what we couldn't do, and we allowed them to do that. So you end up getting, and also in addition to that, we played narrow. We didn't play wide. And I understand playing narrow to stop likes of I forgot the name. I think this is Bernardo Silva, and I think two other playmakers in the midfield from pushing through our midfield. Bearing in mind we had Guendouzi, he's a 19-year-old playing. But I just felt that we played too narrow. It exposed our flanks, and that's where you had Walker and Sterling, just completely ripping apart. I think that was Ainsley Maitland-Niles before he got injured. And I think that even at one point in the second half, I think there was an overload on the left-hand side. I think there were 3 City players against one left back of Lichtsteiner. I just thought that instances like that, if City were firing on all cylinders, it could have made us pay.
No, I get that completely, mate. I really do. Listen, really appreciate your call. Thank you very much for coming on the air. A few comments on here, actually, on Arsenal Fan TV. I want to read it. It's like, that's right, only British people know about football. I'm not saying non-British people don't know about football. I'm saying when I talk to Americans, I've got a lot of American friends, and when they talk about football, sometimes it's they know what they're talking about, but the terminology is wrong. Like they'll call an away game like a road game, and it's like it makes it hard to like. Sometimes the conversation is a little bit incoherent. That's all I mean. Another comment here says Terry's IQ must be between 5 and 10. Actually, it's 4. Wow. My IQ's at 4. So you're actually wrong there. It absolutely is. I love these kind of comments. Fraud American. I don't really get why he's a fraud. He's definitely a real American. It really, really is. Some of the comments are really quite rude, actually. But there we go. Terry can't keep his eye off the chat to make sure no one is dissing him. Mate, I love it. Honestly, there is nothing you can say in terms of an insult that would offend me. Like, absolutely. I had a guy once wish the big C word of illness onto my son, and I just laughed. And he's like, why are you laughing? I was like, because you wishing it on my son isn't going to make it happen. If you had that power, you wouldn't be a troll on YouTube. You'd be like Voldemort. You'd be like the Lord of the World. So, like, it means niente. We have a call for Goonerette TV is on the line. We want to get her on the air. We want to hear what she has to say. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm very, very well. Look, I know yourself and a lot of Gooners very, very excited about the new season. Didn't go according to plan today. But how did you feel about the team selection and the performance from Emre and his new team today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's the first game of the season with Emery in charge. You know, the last 20 minutes were better than the rest, but you know, I just want to keep positive and hopefully, you know, top four would be a good result for the end of the season. And I think all just this negativity that's going on at the minute, these negative fans really should have left with Wenger.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of negativity are you seeing out there from Arsenal fans?
Well, a couple of people I've seen saying Emery out and stuff like that, but you know, it's his first game. What more can you expect, really?
Yeah.
You know, we've just got against the Premier League champions, and you know, I think we didn't have an amazing game, but you know, they pushed out in the last 20 minutes, and I want to see more of that, really.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I looked at it today, and Emre's got his new style that's going to take time to embed. I mean, I implored a lot of Gooners that I was talking to on social media to not get carried away with a good pre-season, to not get sort of overhyped with the fact that, you know, the players were smiling a lot in press conferences. I think it's going to, I mean, for me, I think Wenger created an absolute mess at this football club, and it's going to take 18 months or so to get out of it. I think that Arsenal will get more points this season than last year. I think you'll win more games than last year. I still don't think you'll even make it back into the top four straight away, just because of the sheer quality that's in front of you. But that doesn't mean there aren't positives and there are things to grab onto. Are you worried as a Gooner that because of the negativity that's been around for 5-6 years, that's almost become part of the culture of Arsenal Football Club, and they might not be able to or they don't possess that patience to wait for Emre to become a success at Arsenal?
Yeah, no, I'm not worried at all. You know, I think we could have a chance definitely at getting into top four and staying optimistic. I think Trey needs to come in for Jacka. Jacka had an awful game, but you know, we'll see how the next couple of games go.
Do you think Guendouzi was left to fend for himself during the game? Of course, because of Xhaka's poor performance.
What was that? Sorry.
Do you think Guendouzi was left to fend for himself during the game because he was left pretty much in the middle of the park by himself all game?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. He had no cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, in terms of some of your big stars today as well, you know, Xhaka didn't turn up. What did you make of the likes of Bellerin and more so Ozil's performance today as well? Would you expect more from those sort of long-standing Arsenal players?
I didn't think they had much energy, and you know, I want to see more of that really. And I think the Reds might be a little bit down, obviously, because of the negativity round, but hopefully, you know, they'll come back up with the new manager and hopefully win a couple of games.
Absolutely. Listen, really do appreciate you coming on and having a chat with us, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Take care, darling. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I chat to her quite a bit on social media, and she's kind of... I don't actually know her real name. It's Goonerette TV is what you know that you know people by their Twitter name. It's like, yeah, I don't even know your name. But you know, I think she knows her stuff. She understands it. I don't get the negativity from. Look, I think some Arsenal fans doing the whole Emre out thing. I think some of them are just doing it for attention. They know that they're gonna get lots of people tweet at them. Their timeline's gonna fill up, and maybe they're feeling a little bit lonely or whatever. But
I think it's got to be. It's first game of the season.
Yeah. Just segueing slightly, talking about this game still. I don't think we've spoken a lot about Arsenal. I think it's right to Man City today. There's been a lot of talk of Liverpool knocking them off their mantle, catching them up. I mean, how good for their first game. We talk about everyone's got to find their form this year. They're away at Arsenal, first game of the season. How good were Man City today?
I thought athleticism alone. I mean, they looked miles ahead. Kyle Walker was like running rings around on the right hand side there today. They just look really fit. They look really well drilled. I feel like they're a hard proposition for anybody. I think Arsenal, were quite fortunate just to have two today. Really. Do you know what I mean? It was that they were that good.
Yeah, I thought Mahrez just slipped right into the Man City team.
He did. He really
just Guardiola must have said something to him before during pre-season, and he's just gone in and delivered himself on the right hand side. Mahrez played excellent today.
I think anybody that I don't think they're going to yield as many points as they did last year. They're still finding their feet, but that's why I didn't look beyond them as being. It's why, do you know what's interesting? It's like there was a lot of Man United fans, for instance. Jose has to win the Premier League, or he's got to go. And I understand that notion because I want us challenging, and I want us winning. I want us challenging for the title, and I want us to win a trophy this year. That's my minimum expectations. But to put that around the neck of Jose, for Chelsea fans to say that about Sarri, for Liverpool fans to say that about Klopp, which they're not, by the way, only Man United fans are, is crazy because it's one of these things like. If Man City are as good this year as they were last year, if they're better, what if they get 105 points? You sort of sit there and think, no other manager has done that in the history of top-flight English football. To then like, for that being the reason that you get rid of a manager or you suddenly hate Sarri because he didn't catch him. Or you literally, this year, you could have a team like Liverpool get 95 points, and still 98 points, and not win the title. So you've got to put things into perspective and into context. This City side looked good. And there's still room for improvement because they weren't at their clinical best today. They missed opportunities.
Aguero, massive chances to put it across to De Bruyne. Pretty much an open goal.
No, absolutely, no doubt about it. But City are they're such a good side. They really, really are. We've got more calls ready, Jay. Let's get some more calls on the air. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Mohammed.
Hello, Mohammed. Can you turn down the device you're watching the show on, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Hi, what do you want to say?
I'll just give my 2 cents on the game.
Yeah, go for it. Fire away.
Is it live?
Yeah, we're live. We are live. You're on the live. Go. I couldn't wait any longer. Jay, let's get a new call on. Yeah, I gave him an opportunity, but man didn't want to speak. Here we go. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Marcus.
Hello, Marcus. Who do you support, mate?
Support Arsenal.
You're a gooner. Give us your thoughts after that game. Are you still feeling positive about the season ahead?
Well, not really, but you can't really put it all on the manager. At the end of the day, he's taken up a team where it's not all his players, and he's still learning from the players. Maybe he can look at some certain positions like Mkhitaryan. He went missing that whole game. Maybe he can, maybe fix the formation a bit, because you could see from his plan, he planned to play quite narrow, and it ended up it didn't work out eventually because Man City just basically used their fullbacks and they just overran everyone.
When you saw Mkhitaryan today, could you understand why a lot of, with performances like today, could you understand why there was a lot of Man United fans that were happy to see him leave?
Yeah, completely. I'm not saying I don't feel sorry for him, but I feel like he's had a lot of time to adapt, and you either play him on the right, which he doesn't really have that much pace. You put him in the middle, but I just feel like
it's his third year in the Premier League. He's had time, and he's third manager. And look, we'll give him time under Emre. He could turn it around, but he will turn up. in Europe he'll turn up, and he'll turn up in sort of every 4 games. He'll do something really, really good. But he literally, I think last season for Man United, I think he got 6 or 7 assists in his first 4 games, and then he didn't assist another goal again until he signed for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's, again, like when you're talking about elite level clubs like Arsenal, United, Liverpool, City, Tottenham, you have to be more consistent than that. And Mkhitaryan just is not at that level at the moment in the Premier League. How about other? I mean, look, Emre's going to get time. I think every Arsenal fan is happy to do that. Yeah. What other players today worried you in an Arsenal shirt where you think, are they really going to make the grade under this new coach?
I'd have to say Socrates. I'd have to say Socrates. I really want him to do well because he's a new signing, but certain times you have to be honest with yourself. And from what I saw today, he's going to have a lot of tough games later on in the season.
Yeah, he needs to adjust well to the Premier League.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think.
Yeah,
and also I would say, actually no, not Maitland-Niles had an alright game. I would have to say Xhaka as well. Xhaka was woeful. I mean, you got a 19-year-old Guendouzi, he's already outplaying him, and you just think, what's he doing? You know, you talk about Emery's talking about having 5 captains, and he named Xhaka one of them, and you see him giving Guendouzi no support. You kind of look at him; he's not showing any example. You kind of feel disappointed about what you have around you.
Yeah.
So would Torreira and Guendouzi be the partnership going forward then? Do you reckon, mate?
Torreira has to. I would say Torreira has to start. I'd say Ramsey has to start because if you look at this Arsenal side, there's not much quality on the ball.
So who drops out then, Mickey?
And I feel like after seeing the way Lacazette came on, you'd have to say Lacazette has to start as well.
Exactly.
And
100%.
And if you want to play a 2 in there with Ramsey and Torreira, you'd have Ramsey bombing forward and you have Torreira staying back, and you kind of feel like that's unbalanced as well. So you just got a team that you don't really know where the balance is, and it'll take a long time for Emery to find it. But if you were to have 2 defensive midfielders that would be best suited to this Arsenal side right now, you'd have to say it'd be Guendouzi and Torreira.
100%, yeah. Agree with that, yeah. Because Torreira will actually give the backup to Guendouzi to actually make Guendouzi move, because he passes the ball forward. He's not typically sideways, backwards.
I think it's also the combative nature of Torreira as well,
exactly.
Which is what battling and actually trying to win the ball and get the ball forward again. So that last 20 minutes from him when he came on, I thought that was really encouraging.
Arsenal were pretty much different last 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, I get that.
And if you compare our midfielders to you've got the likes of Pogba. Even if you look at Man City's midfield today, you see De Bruyne coming on, Gundogan. You see all these players that's just running up and down. They're very flexible on the ball, and you just look at players like Xhaka, and he's very stiff. And I just feel we'll never get our money back from what we got from him. And this league doesn't really fit him. But hopefully things will change. But if you look at things right now, we can't really afford to have any stiff midfielders in a fast-paced league such as the Premier League.
I understand that. Listen, really appreciate your call. Thank you very much.
No problem,
cheers.
Thanks.
Some interesting calls and points. I think the general consensus that we're hearing is that most Arsenal fans are kind of they're not annoyed with Emery. They're questioning a few of the selections, but I think they understand that he's got to try and test certain people. And I also think training comes into account here because the likes of Mkhitaryan. I get the sense someone like a Mkhitaryan, maybe even a Xhaka, I think they train well. I think in training they always look great, but they almost freeze in the headlights of games. And there was a comment here in the live section saying, well, it's Jose's fault for killing Mkhitaryan, he destroyed his confidence. But look, we didn't blame Sir Alex Ferguson for what happened with Shinji Kagawa when he came from Dortmund. It's almost some players just come from other leagues and they just can't deliver it in the same way in the Premier League. The same as we've had Premier League players go to foreign European leagues and they've not delivered. And it's just the way it goes sometimes. It's
my friend actually made a good point. I'm actually talking to him on Facebook, and he said if Arsene Wenger picked exactly the same lineup, he would have got so much stick for it. Like literally bombardment, of fans, tell him, made the wrong choices here. Emery, of course, I kind of condemned in terms of his lineup, but I think Emery himself needs time to adjust. And you know, coming from PSG, you know, playing before in Spain, I think the Premier League's going to be a bit tough. But let's give him a few months.
All of this stuff's really premature. Really, I think it's the first game of the season. They had a hard draw there against City, the champions. Let's wait and see what they can do against Chelsea. I think that'll be a really good game as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in. Do us a massive favour. In the description below is the link for the Ultimate Football Fan application. If you haven't done so already, get that downloaded. Whatever platform you're watching on, make sure you smash that like button for us as always. We've got a few fan cams to play you out with as usual. We'll be back again next Saturday with more FanPark Lives covering, of course, the best football league in the world, the EPL. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Everybody else, take care. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.
Real fan opinions brought to you by Wash and Go.
Man City beating Arsenal. You seem a little bit positive.
Do you know what? You wait so long for change and it's not going to happen overnight. Change will take a while. I saw good signs, I saw bad signs. I saw things that we can improve on. I saw things that we look like we've already improved on. Pressing in the second half was good. Pressing in the first half was not. I thought Lacazette done really well when he came on. And yeah, like I said, it's just one of those. It's disappointing to lose, but we need to look at the bigger picture, which is that Rome wasn't built in a day. It's going to take us a while. And we need to pick our heads up as a group, fans, players, management, and move on to the game against Chelsea next week. We know what we did wrong. Let's try and make it right next week. So we'll wait and see.
If it goes bad against Chelsea?
Then we're going to have to look at what went wrong and pick it up again. And that's all we can keep doing. We just have to keep on learning from this. And it's new for everyone. It's new for the whole club. So it's been a long time and it's not going to happen overnight. So yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Man City beating Arsenal.
It's the first game at Emery. It's going to take time, innit? You understand that? You see what you're trying to implement, but it's going to take time, blood. You get me? I think the lineup was a bit wrong. I weren't happy with the lineup. I weren't happy with Czech. I weren't happy with Xhaka. And I'd love to know, someone in the comments tell me what the fuck Xhaka does, blood. You understand? I'd love to know, fam. Like, literally, what the fuck does he do?
He passes the ball.
Which way, blood? You understand?
No.
Like 73 minutes of bullshit.
No, but I mean, personally, I think that there were a few team problems, obviously. It's just the beginning, first game of the season. We'll cut out the mistakes in due course. There's no cause for that. And Iwobi should be playing.
What do you think of the game?
What I think? It's early doors, man. Early doors. We need to get a point at Chelsea, hopefully. And then West Ham, hopefully, we beat them as well.
What's your name?
But early doors. And it's Man City. They're champions of fucking the Premier League. You know what I mean? So, early doors, we need to be calm. Arsenal fans, we need to be fucking calm. Yeah? It's the beginning of the season. We can do it. I believe. Top 4. Let's go.
Right, so I feel like there was a few mistakes from last season that we're used to seeing with Arsenal still around. But there were promising signs. I liked how Guendouzi looked. Torreira was alright when he came on. I feel like just like in the final third, we just lacked the sharpness. But yeah, it's Man City, man. Like we didn't. All of us, honestly, we didn't expect to win today. And if we're going to lose one game in the season or 2 games in the season, we'll accept it being against Man City. But I did like how, you know, Emery he made the changes early on that he needed to make. Unfortunate about Maitland-Niles, hopefully he pulls through. But I'm still confident that next week we can get a good result against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So it's not too bad. It's not the end of the world.
Because we showed the intensity, which is new with Emery. We're a lot more pressing, and then we set off and played like we would last season with Wenger. I thought we weren't clinical enough. We couldn't take our chances. City were great at the back, and they capitalised well. Not else to say really, apart from the fact that we can't get too beaten up over it. But then at the end of the day, it's first game of the season. We can catch up. We do need to get used to our new manager, but I'm not going to say I'm happy. I'm not.
Are you expecting more?
100% I was expecting more. 100%. I thought we'd be more clinical up front. I'm upset with that.
My name is Josh.
That's right.
He's going to give us 30 seconds of his thoughts on the Arsenal-Man City game. What do you think?
I thought I wanted to come in here, I wanted to be excited, I wanted to be buzzing, and in the first 5 minutes I thought maybe, but then it just descended into the same old. I thought the new signings actually performed well, but I'd have liked to have seen, you know what I mean, Lacazette start up top. I think when he came on, he was very solid, he was ruthless, he was hungry. The first thing he did was have a shot at goal. Fullback situation, I'm not 100% sure of. I thought Maitland-Niles was great before he went off. Hopefully that injury isn't too serious, but listen, it's the start of the season and Emery's going to do bits this season.
Come on, Arsenal!
Come on, Arsenal.
City beating Arsenal. You seem a little bit positive.
Real fan opinions brought to you by Wash and Go.